Hi guys, welcome to Garden Theory. Today we're going to talk about the basics of landscape design. We're going to talk a little bit about the basic elements and principles behind landscape design, help to teach you some of the language that maybe you don't quite have the words for yet. For example, I like to watch Instagram Reels a lot, and I'll see a garden space come up on a reel and I really enjoy it. But if I didn't know this language of landscape design, I might not quite be able to know how to put it into words. And so if you have experience like that, where you really like certain garden spaces in the area, but you don't quite know why they're so good, this is going to be a great video for you. Because we're going to talk about the elements and principles of landscape design. I'm going to teach them to you, and we're going to do a concept per video. And I believe we got a total of 14 concepts. But we're going to first just talk about the elements of design. We're not going to rush it too quickly so you're not overwhelmed by all the information. I'm just going to read out the list of the elements of landscape design to you, but we're just going to talk about the first one today. So I really hope you enjoy this video series, and if you're new, this is Garden Theory. Thank you for stopping by to watch. My name's Zach. I have 5 years of industry experience in landscaping, design, and build, as well as maintain. I have a bachelor's degree in horticulture, and this is just a video series I'm doing on the side, just kind of for fun for right now. Just trying to help teach people about good landscape design practices and how you can make your home into the beautiful space that you've dreamed it could be. And so with that, I'm just going to dive into the elements. And so these are the elements of landscape design. So our first one, which is the one we're going to be talking about today, is line. And then we have shape, form, color, texture, space, and value. So those are the 7 elements of landscape design. And we're going to talk about the principles of landscape design in a future video. And so a good way to think about it is the elements are the tools that we use to create art, and the principles is how we use the tools. So right now we're going to talk about the tools of how you can create a beautiful landscape design. So I hope that makes sense. And we're going to dive into line today. And so line and landscape design, it's a pretty simple concept, but there's a lot of different ways that can dramatically change how people feel and experience your landscape design. It can make the difference from something feeling cold and formal to soft and natural. So it's a really big part and something that you want to pay attention to when you're designing how you want your garden space to be. So there's a couple different types of lines. So there's horizontal, vertical, diagonal, straight, curved. You can have a broken band of a line. And so those are kind of all the different types of basic line shapes that we can use in landscape design. And so I'll just walk through them one by one with y'all, just to showcase how you can use each one of those different types of line in your space. You may have seen this before. Again, like I said earlier, maybe you didn't quite have the language for it. And so hopefully you'll be able to recognize this in the places that you go visit. And that way you can kind of point it out to your friends and be weird like I am. So we'll talk about the first one, which is kind of straight, vertical or horizontal lines. These are very common in formal spaces. A lot of times they all connect at 90-degree angles, and having this formal line setup can make the space feel very formal. You'll see it a lot, for example, at the Palace of Versailles. That's a very formal garden in France. You'll see it a lot in national monuments, parks, anything that's kind of all squared out. Everything's kind of to the grid. It's all in a line. And a lot of times that can feel pretty cold. They use it a lot in modern houses. A lot of times the landscape matches the cold, straight, and horizontal lines of those modern types of buildings. And so it's almost kind of like the ground version of a modern house, of that style, at least, I mean. And so it creates a very formal style, which can be good if you want to create a very strong sense of space for something. For example, very formal landscape designs can be used well for weddings, different ceremonies, and stuff like that. So it does have its place, and so that's something you kind of want to think about when you're doing your landscape design is, do I want something to feel more formal and proper, or do I want things to feel more naturalistic? And a little spoiler, but you can mix the different types of lines to create different harmonies and contrasts to a space. So you can kind of create emphasis that way as well, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So vertical lines are lines, a lot of times your vertical lines can be used like if you have an arbor or a trellis or something like that, where you have something over your head and you have vines and stuff. Those can all create vertical lines. Trees are also really good for creating vertical lines as they go up on their trunks. And so that's something you can consider. Some people like to put trees in a row, and so you have all these vertical lines going up. You can also create lines through different flowers and foliage that you have. You can have flowers, for example, like a hollyhock, where their flowers go straight up a couple feet, and those can create vertical lines that way. So there's a lot of ways you can complement the lines that you have in your overall design with the different plants that you have to complement it. So that's one way you can kind of have those complements and contrasts by using different lines. And so moving on to like curved lines, these are the more naturalistic lines. They flow and weave throughout the space. There's no harsh angles or edges. Everything kind of flows and is very naturalistic. And this makes it feel very soft and inviting to people. And so that's one way that you can create those lines. You can also have things like a water feature or a stream create those natural lines for you, and you can kind of complement those lines. There's a lot of ways you can expand upon whatever natural features you have in your landscape. With different types of lines, you can make different spaces feel different. For example, if you have a lot of long horizontal lines, that can help make your space feel wider. If you have vertical lines instead, it makes it feel narrower. All these different things can lead to different types of feelings of your space. You can also use line to create focal points or places of emphasis. By having converging lines come to a point, all the lines kind of focus your eye and your movement to that one spot. And that can often be used for a statue, maybe a special tree, or a water feature of some kind, so you can kind of direct everyone to this place of focal point and emphasis and stuff like that. And you can also have disconnected lines. It kind of helps to make a formal line feel more informal by having it be disconnected at different points, but it all matches up to a line. But you can have different clusters of things all kind of converge together. And so those were kind of our different types of lines that we use in landscape design. Another way we can use lines is in our hardscape material. There's a lot of different paver options when you're designing like a patio, for example. You can use the lines and the paver's pattern to complement whatever landscape design features you have as well. So there's a lot of different ways that we can do that. One style of landscape design is you can match the architecture of your home with the lines that you have for your patio or something like that. That's another way you can emulate the lines in your home's architecture into your landscape. And like I said earlier, you can mix and match them. A lot of times I like to do a more formal straight line hardscape with the naturalistic landscape lines. And so those two complement each other by having some hardness as well as some softness in the landscape design. So those are some ways you can use line. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have any advice on how I can create better videos as far as the production side is concerned, please just let me know down in the comments. I'm open for any feedback from y'all. I'm continuing trying to improve these videos. We're going to be hitting our year mark soon in March. My goal for this year is to continue to focus more on landscape design. That seems to be ringing with people so far. So thank you for watching this video. Our next video on the elements of landscape design is going to be shape. And I'm going to try to post these at least once a week is my goal for right now. I may post twice a week if I'm able to keep up with it, but I'm not going to push myself too hard just because I have a lot of things going on. And this is just a side project for now, and so I hope you really enjoyed this video. You can let me know that you enjoyed it by liking this video, commenting things that you liked about it, as well as things you would like to see me change. I'm open for that, as well as subscribing. And all those things really help out. If you enjoyed this video, the YouTube algorithm thinks you're going to like this video, so please feel free to watch that after this if you want to support this channel. So thank you for watching here at Garden Theory.